You know, and I said, you know, I looked and I stepped back and I seen for a minute, I seen Tanner's works, and it's what's interesting about the photograph is you can see like the break in the photograph. You see like traditional, modern, youth age, dark and light, and all these kind of things started playing it, and you know, I said, wow, you know, it's just.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and it goes on and on.
It goes on and on and on. Yeah, exactly.
Africa, Europe.
Right. Yeah, you can just, you know. But
nature, outside, inside.
Right. And so it was inspired by Tanner's work. Yeah. It was so. Tanner was the guy that you know made it happen. You know.
This is beautiful.
That's the Dogon people, also in West Africa. I couldn't find it, Alex.
Where's this? This is an African.
That's also Mali. That's one of my favorite pieces. That's one of my big sellers. It's simply called Sunset on the Niger. And the guy was simply taking a bath. And I just waited until he calmed down because he seen me standing on the edge of the river photographing him as he was taking a bath. I said, no, man, I'm not going to move because I seen the sun coming down. I said, oh, this is shot. Yeah. So he waited.
To hell with him. I can't wait anymore.
I'll just let him take his bath, man. That was the shot. That was like the last frame. What's the last frame on the camera?
God, the detail you got here is incredible.
Looked up and down, man. I can't see nothing.
I don't know. I've seen it someplace.
Oh, look, grants.
Yes, that's that. That's what we were looking at. You know.
Look, there's a blank page.
Yeah. There's images coming and going. I mean, they're not permanent. Some of them are permanent, and some of them are not. You know, I'm still moving around. I'm still, you know. I mean, I have so much work. I'm going through years of work, you know, up to the present time. It's going to take a certain amount of time. So it's relevant. Well, I submitted one of my books to NIFA this year, but it didn't work. You know, they didn't
bite.
No. And I thought it was two of my better pieces, man. So I in turn turned around and sent it to, that's Haiti. That was my image of Haiti. Most of everybody else is burning bodies and other madness. My images, that's Haiti to me. That's one aspect of Haiti. I mean, I just simply seen the testimony. I was staying with some friends, and this is during the time of Aristide.
Those grapes.
Yeah, so big, you know, vines, yeah. And I'm sitting out there in the yard, we were eating, and here this guy comes out of the house and he says something to his wife. She was sitting there eating also, and then he just grabs her. It's a very tender moment. I said, oh! You know, photographers, we can't help ourselves, you know. So I just, you know, what a moment.
That's
you know,
completely different moment.
New York was New York though, but it's, you know, it's a New York thing, you know.
Oh, I love the bottom of his sneaker. Oh, hooked around her leg.
I didn't do it. This is something happening. This is part of a series I was working on called Private Moments in Public Places, where I was simply photographing people showing emotion in public places, you know. And it's amazing how sometimes you can come up on people just involved and they just say, yeah, you know, I just come up with the camera, I made on the same, and they say, yeah, and that was it. You know.
Oh, look, you're so organized. You're a photographer.
They're still developing.
Oh,
you know?
Look at
Again,
that.
private moments in public places. You know? Sometimes they don't know I'm taking a photograph, you know. It was just their moment. So anyway, it's nice. I think that's probably it.
More.
You want more?
You know, Sulaiman, I met you once before. I don't remember. It was here. I don't remember if it was at a show. I don't think it was at a show.
Could have been.
And I think you had a show.
We had a lot of shows.
Here. No, here. Maybe it was your show that I was at once. Because anyway, I mean, I remembered you actually when I saw you, and now there's something about the photography and stuff I remember. There wasn't any of this stuff.
That's Ethiopia.
Oh, of course.
These are the Orthodox churches. That's another book that I'm working on. I've kind of sat back on that because I am so depressed about that.
Did you see that Christian, that Coptic exhibit at the Schomburg?
I was there. I was kind of pissed off with that too.
You get him going now.
You see, why I was pissed off was because the show was very abstract. My photographs depict the church in use.
Right.
And those relics don't really.
So did you go tell them? Yeah, but those.
Oh, but you know what happened was.
Tell them, hey.
No, they have my portfolio there.
Okay.
They have this portfolio up there of over 30 images that were on show, but that was not open to the public downstairs. You know, I remember one day I was invited to a special showing. One of the sponsors, Lynch. What's the name of the stock exchange? Merrill Lynch. Busted in about. They busted in about 4 bus loads of people for a special showing, and they had this special thing upstairs, and my photographs was on show. You know, which was nice. It gave the people an introduction to the culture and the people, and then you came down and actually see the religious art.
That's great.
But what happened?
Everybody else couldn't see that.
But everyone else couldn't see that stuff. And I was really pissed off. I said, what was the point? And and funny enough, they just bought the work. It's not like, they just bought the work, so they know the stuff is there. And I'm saying, goodness gracious, this work should have been, not because it's my work, but it would have given people an introduction to the religious art that was on show. They would have had an understanding of what this work was, and it's used this is not museum pieces, this is what's being used every day. This is a very ancient form of Christianity, and the works that we see on the wall was what was being used in their ceremonies every single day, not just on Sundays or certain holidays. So, I mean, I was a little bit perturbed by that show.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that. Whoops,
Yeah.
I just thought, sorry, Alex. I
No,
just thought,
I
mean, as I keep telling my students and just getting reminded of, well, if you think Christianity just has to do with Europe, think again.
Oh,
you
no.
know, I mean, just think again, and there it was.
Oh, yeah.
So there it was, but it's not in our faces enough most of the time.
Oh, let me tell you, I have over 40 rejections from publishers from all over the United States. They don't want to touch it. Seriously, they don't want to touch it. They don't want to touch it. Even black publishers don't want to touch it. So
do you have text with this stuff too?
Oh, there's text. I have a whole book. I have a book. I have a dummy, just like you have a book. That's what I have.
Wow.
The only people that recently.
This is extraordinary.
Yeah, well, this is a church too. That's St. George.
This is a church?
That's a church, yeah.
Did you see this church?
Oh, Alex, no. I bored Alex to death with that stuff. I came in here and cried on Alex's shoulder. I'm getting ready to send some stuff to.
Oh, and I missed. Oh, isn't that wonderful?
That's Togo. This is a color shot of the same place. I'm getting ready to send this to Howard University. Howard University is one of the few people that recently called me and told me that they found an old manuscript from one of their professors who recently died, an Ethiopian gentleman who taught history at Howard University, and they're entertaining the idea of publishing his manuscript. And they thought of me because they were one of the people that I wrote to.
Good.
And they said maybe they could use some of the work. So I'm putting together a little brochure of the images so that they can, if they want to make a selection of the work, they can, of the work. So this is something I just put together. I didn't show you this, Alex. Yeah.
That's one of those
Churches,
below ground churches.
Yeah, this is one of the largest of the churches. That's Beta Mahani Alam, which simply means in he's Church of the Savior of the World.
This is something. Just a little Church of the Savior of the World.
Yeah. Oh, well, a lot of those churches were named after either saints.
Savior of the world.
Yeah. Oh, world, of course, yeah.
But, and it's just interesting because starting with the guy with the Middle Ages, European churches go sort of gets tall and skinny and goes straight up,
those go
and
down.
This one goes down into the earth.
Well,
Isn't that?
during when these churches were made, we're talking about the 12th century, and from the 7th century onward to the 14th was the rise of Islam in North Africa. So the churches, if you were to see them at a distance, you couldn't see them from a distance because they're below the ground. Only when you get upon them you start to, and then those you can't burn, you know. So I'm putting this together. I'm not finished yet. I have to label the stuff. And these are some of the paintings that you find in the interiors of some of the churches. That represents the Holy Trinity. These are Xerox. You probably know. These are Xeroxes. And all in one particular town called Lalibela, where there are like 10 churches all interconnected by underground paths. This is a man-made tunnels and crevices that interconnect all these churches, all these underground churches. So you can go both above ground church or access by underground.
That's really a shame.
Publishers don't want to touch it.
But that's a real shame for education purposes.
I agree.
But also, I mean, it's just such a shame that exhibit didn't have this with it.
They had to work. They had to work. This is Beta Mariam, which is the Church of St. Mary. You know, again, another one of the underground churches. Shortly before.
This is beautiful. This is gorgeous.
That's Beta Emmanuel. This is another church. This is a rectangular church. St. George is carved with the actual shape of the cross. These are simply priests.
You know, this is I spent a good deal of time with some of the new Ellington Orchestra and one of the few remaining still living people who was in the old orchestra, and we went to that a couple times to that show at that traveling show on Ellington that was at the Museum of the City of New York.
Right.
And there was one little picture of them when they were in Ethiopia in the 60s. So everybody was telling stories, and actually one of the times I went with Clark Terry. So again, everybody was telling stories, and this is a completely different Ethiopia than they described. I mean, I'm sure they didn't see any of this, and they don't know this. They were very focused on Haile Selassie and how he lived.
Oh, he was very powerful.
But I mean, that was Ethiopia for them, period. And this is. I mean, for me, this is Ethiopia, and he is Ethiopia, and that's all it is. But this just makes it, just what you were saying, it makes it so concrete, so real. It gives it all a place.
Sense of place, yeah. I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, when people beat you down on the ground, boy, you just say like, okay.
Beautiful. They look like they could be related too.
Well, they were together. They could have been. They probably mother and daughter. This is that same church inside. This is a different style of church. This is called a semi-hewn church, which means it's
getting
carved
the whole
on
tour, right?
It's carved on 4 sides, and the actual roof is attached to the actual earth. You know, that's Beta Libanos.
But see, that's the other thing that's just so. I mean, I understand the historical reasons for why these are where they are, but it just makes for a very different, completely different feeling because those Gothic things reach up into the sky, and these things reach up into the earth. It's just so.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's powerful. Wow. I mean, they end in the sky, and this.
It's earth, yeah. The earth, yeah.
Beautiful.
one of the hand. I brought my wife back one of these. Not the book itself. I couldn't bring back the book, but a painting done by original priests of the same depiction. Beautiful. Priest works. This is the actual illuminated Bible. St. George, the patron saint of Ethiopia, and of course, you know, Christ. Incredible, incredible. And this was taken in a monastery. You're not allowed to go to the monasteries because it's small men, but this is one of the monasteries where all the priests live. Incredible place.
Wait, are there priests celibate too?
Not really, but they're allowed to marry, but only once. These are women
Poor guys.
You know, well, if they take the vows of priesthood, yeah, they can only marry one time.
If they don't,
if they don't, well, yeah, but then they're not really a priest. They call something called a dabdabta.
No, but I mean, so a lay person can marry more than once, but a priest can only marry once.
A priest can only marry once. If he decides to marry again, then he's no longer a priest. He can become a debtra. A debtra is like a lay person in the church.
It's a deacon.
It's like a deacon, yeah, exactly. You know.
We actually have something like that in the Catholic Church too, sort of.
These are actual monks. They have never married. Because of how they, you know.
So see, but that's healthy. So you have a choice to take a vow of celibacy or not.
Right.
That makes sense. It's not like that makes sense.
But the patriarch cannot marry. He has to marry himself to the church. That's the problem. That's one problem. The patriarch can never marry. Well, most of the patriarchs are never. Just a young girl who appeared in front of my camera, you know, during a celebration. I just can't. I said, "Oh, you got to get a child. You have to get a child."
Well, not only that, but that child obviously presented herself to you.
Yes, of course. Yeah. She was curious like everyone else. I mean, you know, I'm standing around taking photographs, and she just appeared in front of me. I said, "Well, hey, this is it. You got to take it," you know. So I took it. Christmas.
She gave it to her.
Oh yes, she most certainly did. And funny enough, I tried to give her a Polaroid and she ran away. She didn't want the Polaroid. She was afraid of me. I mean, it was enough that she was curious to come out, but then when she's finally seen me, and I wanted to give her, I took another photograph of her with a Polaroid and wanted to give to her, she ran.
This is Christmas.
This is the celebration of Christmas. Well, the book is nothing like this. This is just a brochure so that Howard University at least get an idea of what my photographs look like. You know, this is another celebration of Christmas.
Oh my God! Ooh, look, isn't that great?
Yeah. Well, you know, you have to do this little art thing every time you're out there. You know, you can't just document. You got to just let things happen sometimes. Sometimes it's interesting. This is a 16th century painting in one of the monasteries. Of course, you work with some of the designers.
Oh, this is
Just
amazing.
playing with themes, ideas. If you want to shoot, that's a good place to go to shoot. If you want to go somewhere and shoot and have a good time. The only thing I would tell you, just bring enough film. It's wonderful, especially since the war is over now. Okay.
When were you there?
Most recently, 93.
How often have you been there? To Ethiopia?
I was there during the height of the drought and the war, which really caused the problem. No, I wasn't there for that reason. I was there to document my thing. I wasn't there to document that. That wasn't for me. Because I mean, the way I feel is I have to live with my photographs. I have to.
Well, it's for me, there's always, ever since I was a little girl, looking at Life magazine and looking at pictures of like. All the pictures. I never understood how people could I mean, I understood the whole idea of a concerned photographer, okay, how they could they wanted to document stuff and bring it to the world, but I didn't understand how could you not put the camera down and go and feed the kid or stop or even later that famous picture of that guy being shot.
Oh, I met Eddie Adams. Yes, that was Eddie Adams.
I mean, I can understand.
But you understand
he couldn't. He would have been shot.
Yes, of course.
But I have a problem taking pictures. I just have a problem.
Well, sometimes I don't know.
I'll never be that kind of photographer.
I wasn't there for that reason, but if I was sent there for that, I may would have approached it a little different because I'm more lifestyle and culture oriented. I want to show you something that will always be there. Yes, famine and war and pestilence and violence is something.
Always be there too.
Well, yeah, but it's a passing phase in people. I mean, yes, it'll always be, and it has always been there. But it's only a passing phase in mankind or womankind. You understand? So let's get those moments. You know, like when I showed people my photograph of Haiti, of this man reaching out to the woman, they said, "Well, that's not Haiti. When were you there? 1969?" No, that's 19, what? RSC left out of there, what, 91? I was here in 91, 92. That's my image, you know? See another photograph?
I just want to say something about this cover. I love it. It's really beautiful, these three together.
You think so?
You have a problem?
Oh, I don't know, because you know, I'm always moving stuff around. I have no idea what's happening. You know?
Yeah, I really like that. Oh my God. So much to do, so little time.
Yeah, you got those every time you come in here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, same time.
I walk out just completely full. Like,
I'm going to do another book.
I have to go now. I can't look. Remember last time Alice was showing me his stuff? He was showing me some prints. I got to a certain point, and then I just said, I have to leave. I can't look at it anymore. I can't. But you can show me something.
No, I'm just showing you that. I'm getting ready to do another book. No, this is just another book. I'm working on another book.
Where's the book?
No, this is it. This is how you start. This is how you start. This is the origin of a book. This is the origin of a book. Cardboard, paper.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, like this.
Just like this. See, I make them.
You do?
I make them. Yes, I make them.
Wow.
Yes, I make them.
Wow.
I mean, I buy my canvas and I buy my boards and I buy my paper and I put them together. That's what I do. Alex say I'm a nut, but that's okay. He said I should be doing other things. Alex don't know I'm tired.
What should he be doing instead?
I won't say. He'll get back to it eventually.
I love these two women.
Oh.
I love this. Especially the young one. She's cute.
You have the tattooing on the cheek.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
That's
different.
tattooing.
That's tattooing, yeah. Some of them tattoo crucifixes on their faces and cheeks and you know, other parts of their body. Women are hard to photograph.
Why?
Just very, very difficult. It's very difficult to photograph.
Women everywhere?
Most cases, yeah. Because, as you know, in a lot of older societies, there's a very strong segregation between men and women.
Oh, for that reason.
Yeah, so you can't just...
Not aesthetic reasons.
Oh, not aesthetic reasons. Oh, but then again, women don't want to be photographed anyway. I mean, they just don't want to be photographed. Men, now
you hear that, Alex?
You have to push men out the way.
They don't want to be videotaped either.
So it's almost the same thing. I think it's in the genes, you know. And
actually, no. If you want to know the truth, I actually absolutely adore being photographed.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's just that what gets in the way is my vanity. Like when I feel old and fat, like I do now, and tired. So, but in fact, one of the reasons I love the camera so much, I grew up being photographed. And
you're not related to Robert Ellison, do you?
No.
Okay.
No. Who's that?
Oh, just a guy out of the 60s who did some interesting stuff after Vietnam during that period.
No, my father was a, I think I told you this, my father was a Life magazine photographer from like 46 to 56. But he specialized in he specialized in music. Thank you so much for showing me this. In music and movies. And so he did like some of the earliest pictures of Sophia Loren and Brigitte Bardot.
Wow. Wow.
And lots of opera singers and all that kind of stuff. And it's just so weird. And of course he photographed me like crazy. And I grew up around people like Philippe Paulsman photographed me a lot.
Oh,
and people
really?
Like, and I loved it. I loved. And then and it's just so funny because in a way, one of the things that's happening when I'm photographing. And then here I am photographing musicians, and music is something that is really the thing that I love more than anything else in the world.
Is it so?
Not my father's music, but my music. But this is music that saved me when I was little, and continues to to nourish me in so many ways. And I love making music. And for a whole bunch of reasons, I drifted. I left it very suddenly, and then got sucked back in, and as soon as I started photographing it,
glad you're back.
Thank you. My whole life started coming together again. After 12 years of fighting every day because I was away from it, as soon as I got back to it. But so what's so strange is that I'm photographing what I love, and I love being photographed. But I'm completely on the other side.
Well, then that video I did of Alex Suggest is great. I mean, you can just simply plant a camera somewhere and just work, and you don't have to be conscious of it. You just keep giving it a wide angle.
True, actually, but I'd have to make myself, then I have to be on, which I'm so it's a really strange thing because and again, I don't have some of those pictures. Well, some of the pictures I do have, but some of them I don't have here. But I work also at getting people. Often when they're on stage, they're on. But then also if I'm doing a portrait, I'm working at helping bring out their beauty and helping them to be on. And all my onness. I don't know how to say this yet.
Well, that's cool.
But all my onness is actually all my onness is being given to them.
It's being transferred to them.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. It's a real and one of the reasons that I love doing it so much is because I know what it's like on the other side, and I know what. I mean, it's everything. It's spiritual. It's erotic. It's like all this stuff together. It just makes me feel so alive. And it's also I keep. I know you know about this, and you know about this, because I keep falling in love with people's faces and people's skin and the light. And I'm falling in love with light.
I can imagine.
All the time.
That photograph that I don't know the bassist's name, the one with the light coming in. Oh, that's a beautiful photograph.
That's a me photograph. That's a real. That's one of the ones, Alex. I did, and like also the ones that I haven't. I don't have any prints for you, but just the contact sheet of this other friend of mine with the light coming in on him. That's really when I do those, I go, this is that's me. That's me. But I love light so much. This is a funny thing. About 2 years ago, when it first was really being overwhelmingly strong. The first time it really wrapped me up. I was walking across Broadway 19th Street. It was late in the afternoon. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock, and there were 2 young men standing on the street corner talking, and the light was low, and it was coming in on this one guy's face. His skin looked so beautiful. His face looked so beautiful, and he was young. He was just young and beautiful, and a little cocky looking, and I was just admiring this, and just really digging how I was feeling about it.
Right.
And I'm walking across the street, and I completely missed the curb, and I just went
Did
right
you
at
really?
his feet.
Wow.
I just fell. I went flat. Everything I was carrying went out, and I just was sprawled at his feet. And he was nice enough. And they interrupted the conversation, and they went, "Oh!" And the one that I'd been looking at, not his friend who had a hat, I couldn't really see him. But this guy, he was the one who actually picked me up, and he said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Well, I'm a little embarrassed, but yeah, no, I'm okay." I said, "Thank you." And then I said, "Well, now you can tell women that other women are falling at your feet." And he was still holding me. He kind of went, "Huh?" What? But it was true. I mean,
right.
I just fell at his feet.
No, I can imagine. I get into those moments where I simply study light, just seeing how. Again, I'm always working with people. I'm always watching people and seeing how light fall on people and how that light can illuminate certain portions of the body or the face and either bring out certain characteristics about a person. I mean, I'm hungry for that. I love it. Yeah, so I can imagine. I can. All yes, it is. Oh yes,
I can
it is.
see it in you.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it is. And there are times that it works, and it works very well. And you just let it happen. Just boom, just let it happen. Great, that's wonderful. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome
it's
back.
Really great. It's really good. And to know you're a lover of the music too, it's like.
Yeah, I'm a casual taster here and there now and then. Yeah.
Is he casual or not?
I'm a casual taster, man. I'm a casual. Don't ask Alex anything.
Okay.
What about Lenny? Is Lenny casual?
No, Lenny's not casual.
Lenny's slightly obsessive about his music.
Same level?
No, not at all. Not even close. Not even close. I may even have a jazz picture here.
Oh, I'd love to see.
I may have one. Because I'm still, these are images I'm sticking in my book.
You have a whole collection of jazz images.
I do not.
Most of them at the Lincoln Center.
I do not.
Most of them at Lincoln Center?
You
Oh,
sold
you
a
mean
collection
from
to them.
concerts?
You
No.
sold a collection to them of jazz.
You did?
You don't want to admit up to all this, his real fame.
I'm not.
Why?
No. Ask talking nonsense. I don't think I brought it. No, I didn't bring it.
He can't be talking about
No, I didn't bring it. I thought I did. No, these are some images I may stick in a book, but I thought I brought some jazz pieces. And I'm going to be working on this all
So
night.
if I went to Lincoln Center, I could
They're
see...
in the archives, I think.
Okay, thank you.
This is just some Ethiopian stuff, that's going to go in the book eventually, That, again, that catch light,
Okay, I have to ask an obnoxious question, because I don't hear so much I don't understand. What, are these like full frame?
Yes, they are.
They are? They're all full frame?
Yeah.
That's how you got those little black borders.
Well, you can do it another way.
Oh, so oh, look at that. I'm ready to just walk on that bumpy.
Oh.
No.
No, that's enough. No, that's enough. When you see the book in the store, I don't want you to pass it. I want you to go and buy it. So that's enough.
Don't worry.
Obviously, you won't see no book in the store. It won't be in the store.
No. We got a picture. Book in store.
Yeah.
Book in store. This really should. Why? This is weird. Why would
It's a church. Again, that's underground. This is also underground.
No. I'm saying why. Once again, I'm saying why wouldn't somebody grab this and publish it? Because
I don't know.
it's so
I don't know.
different
I don't know.
from what's out there, and so.
The vice president from W.W. Norton told me that he doesn't have a clue as to how he can sell a product like that.
Are you serious?
He doesn't have a clue. One of the senior book editors at Aperture told me, looked at me and laughed. Aperture laughed at me.
Why? Why did they
I guess I was funny. I guess I was funny. Why would I come over there and bring my work to them? I mean, I don't know. But anyway.
God is the wind.
During the celebration of Timcot, that photograph is representative of Timcot, is the day that Christ was baptized. And that day, the Holy Talbot, the Ethiopians call their Bible Talbots, or Talbata. This comes from the ancient language.
Like Talmud.
Talmud, yeah, exactly. It's carried on the head of the priests as they walk in procession. Remember the photograph of all the women marching down? Well, they march into the river to be baptized. Every year they renew their baptism. And that's the women all dressed in white are marching down to the river. And this leads procession. Yeah. This is one of the few, I love this photograph because there's a few times women allowed me to photograph them. And I just came upon the woman and she sat there and I said, I just simply pointed to my camera and she just looked at me and I said, well, I have to go for it. Either she's going to beat my brains out or... And that was the shot. I mean, and I was just watching the light as it pressed on the side of her face, you know. So, I don't know. So, I'm working on stuff. So this is my sixth book, you know. This is my sixth book that I've done. How many months, Alex? About 3 months, 4 months?
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a prolific period.
Oh,
this is when they write your biography. They will say, you know, in the years between 1994 and
1995. Yes.
Right.
Oh, you should see them.
He produced.
Oh.
They haven't gotten serious yet.
What?
You haven't gotten serious yet.
I guess not.
Alex wants to see my jazz book. That's what he wants to see.
Yeah.
He insists, though. He's insisting. He's forcing the system to deal with this first.
I'm trying, Alex, and they don't want to, I know. But anyway. You should go. It's wonderful.
Well, I want to go. All of this is. I have a friend who's our plan. This is one of my best buddies, and our plan is she's gonna settle in Senegal and open a jazz club.
Oh, beautiful! Senegal.
I mean, she's quite serious. She used to have a restaurant. She and her sisters had a restaurant in L.A.
Really?
And then she came to New York, and now she's becoming an anthropologist, and she's been back and forth to Senegal several times to do her field work. But the decision is, you know, we've sort of looked at each other and said, she knows I want to go too. Yeah. So I'm gonna, you know, come and stay. Next time she goes there, which will be in the next couple of years, I'm going to go and visit her. So she's grounded there, so I won't just be a tourist.
Oh, really? You should go. Because interesting enough, Dakar is a very cosmopolitan place, and the artwork that's coming out of Dakar. I mean, we don't see it here, unfortunately. But if you go to Europe, you'll see a lot of these painters.
I'm doing a photograph of a guy. I can't remember his name. He's a Senegalese artist.
I was really. Where does he live? He live here?
No. He's got a cousin who lives here who he's visiting. He lives here part of the time. He lives in.
He's not a Keita, is he?
No.
He's not from the Keita clan, is he?
No.
Because I do know Sulaiman Keita. She's from Senegal.
Although that name is really familiar.
Yeah, Sulaiman.
Was he in? Did you see that exhibit at the Museum for African Arts? There was an exhibit. Must have been last summer. And this guy was in that exhibit. It was European educated African artists, and it was showing and wonderful statements. It was showing what they, and their statements about what they took from Europe and what was missing, what they took from their own culture.
Senegal is an incredible place. You should see what's happening. I think Senegal and Nigeria, even though Nigeria is kind of rough, Senegal is probably the second place that you can go and see some amazing things happening in art. I mean, just amazing. I mean, these cats, man, a lot of these cats studied in France or Belgium or wherever, Germany. I mean, they're doing some incredible stuff. I mean, some incredible work coming out of there. There's another cat by the name of Mamadou.
You know, by the way, I don't even know if I would recognize this guy's name at this point. I'm blanking completely on who. Buna is the first name of his cousin who said he really needs some photographs. He's going to be here and would you do it?
Oh, it's okay.
I'll take some pictures and let you know. Oh, I have to give these up. This is like your Japanese guy, you know, that every day I've been seeing those photographs. I'm seeing them right now. That's what blew me away. You know that Japanese guy who went all into him?
Oh, yes.
It was like, that was it. After I saw those, I said, I can't look at it anymore. I'm leaving now.
That was some great stuff now. That's some great stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I was impressed myself.
Isn't that amazing what happened?
Yes.
The consequences of all that stuff.
Right now, I'm seeing it.
You got the Japanese thing going, and you got the Waco thing going, and you got the Oklahoma thing going.
Yeah.
And you got that single piece that I did.
That's right. Did I see you before? I saw you before.
Just before that.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you something. Well,
you got the Japanese thing.
Well, there's something else. I lost
thing.
a friend of this is a.
You lost somebody?
Yeah, right. Right before Easter. It's funny because we're talking about Africa too. That some other friends of mine. She was an anthropologist who went to Kenya and did a field work there. Married a Kenyan gamekeeper who had a son by his first marriage, who ended up living with them, and then they had another child, and then he was killed. So Cheryl came back here with her African son and her African American daughter, the daughter that they had, and eventually she married a friend of mine, which is how anyway, I knew her too, but she married a mutual friend, a friend that she and I both had in common, and they had 2 more kids. Their first son was born, Antonio Halil Moretti. Their first son was born 2 days after my father passed in 1986. So as soon as I got back from being at my father's house after he died, the first thing I did was I went to their house and I held their son, because I really felt like, if that whole business about a spirit going out and spirit coming in, I needed to hold him.
Right,
so he was that. So I have a very special connection with this family, and I've known their son since he was 10 years old. He was 25 this year. And on April 14th, the police killed him.
Wow.
It was in the papers.
What happened?
Well, his parents are trying to find out because of course they made a bad, as they often do, they made a bad mistake in this case, because this kid, they really executed him, it sounds like, but this kid is very well connected. He went to all the best private schools, and has some very powerful parents. So they've hired Michael Dowd, who's one of the top criminal lawyers around. They've hired a pathologist. But all they can do at this point is try to make the police accountable so that maybe it'll happen a little less, and eventually, if everybody had the power to do what these people are doing, maybe it would stop sooner than later. But so it was like with Oklahoma was this whole thing of losing Katerina, who he was like my godson. And for me, it's like Oklahoma's like, thank you. Oklahoma's like a big version of this, and Waco. By the way, Waco. The government was whacked to do what they did at Waco. That was criminal.
It was criminal.
That was criminal. So there's something criminal happening back, and in this one small group, of my friends in my world, there's been another Waco or another, Oklahoma. It just, you should. Well, I'm sure you've seen it. These kids were the football teams, the Katerina, all the football teams. They were all his junior high school football team, his high school football team, and his college football team. They were all there, and they were all carrying the coffin. And these big, beautiful young guys were just completely
taken by, I'm sure.
Just broken. We really don't know. The police, they kept issuing stories to the press, and then Katerina's father, his parents, his stepfather, his parents, people would issue other things. So first they said he was carjacking. Then they said, he was carjacking. He lived in a basement apartment. The name was real creepy. He was a college dropout. Well, he finished college. He lived in an 8-room duplex apartment. They shot him right in front of the building. They said he was a drug dealer. Then when that stuff came in, when they couldn't say that about him anymore. Then they said he was a drug dealer. They've said so many things. So I don't know which. I mean, and you can't even really.
Well, they have to cover themselves. I mean,
well, of course they do.
I mean, wow.
It just, and one of the, I mean, so much, you know, this guy came here 6 years old, broken-hearted, because he'd lost his mother earlier. Then he lost his father violently. Then he lost his country. So everybody worked very hard. He's such a sweet person. So everybody worked really hard.
Right.
You know, really, a lot of love, and with most of our children, a lot of love and a lot of work went into him. And he grew into such a fine
Flower.
Yeah, he really did. Talk about light. I mean, he was physically beautiful, but it was more that something was just shining out of him.
Well, something that was given to him, so it's easy, easy to get back. It's not hard to get back.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah, one of his friends read this poem at the funeral. Really powerful about in the beginning, the whole rhythm of the thing. There was this refrain that kept saying, "But in Babylon, no man is safe." You know, and then all of a sudden it was about his own crisis when this happened to his brother and friend, and then it had this turning where he said, "Ah, now I see," and it was all embracing Jesus and rising above Babylon and being. But so I found this kid afterwards, young man afterwards, and just just thanked him for the poem because I thought it was the best thing that anybody. Priest didn't say much, but it was the best thing anybody said at his funeral. So.
Maybe the priest didn't know.
No, she kept saying cat, and she'd say cat, and his sister, and Quirote, and his brothers, Antonio, and
Yeah, he didn't know, and that's
the Episcopal priest, yeah. So it was one of those. But anyway, so I found this guy just to tell him thank you for the poem, and also because these kids were hurting. I thought anybody should, So and I said thank you, and this is a tough guy, dreadlocks coming down. He was really like word. He's stop, I don't know. He's doing all this stuff. But anyway, so I said this stuff to him, and he said something so powerful. He said, yeah, Catarina, he was real. Catarina, he had a heart. Catarina saved my life. He said, you don't know what he did to help me. He said, he showed me what was beautiful in me. This is a 22-year-old guy. He said, he showed me what was beautiful in me. And he said, just to. Some people, they just show you what's beautiful about them. That's easy. That's superficial, because that's just surface stuff.
Right.
Somebody beautiful about you.
Yes, exactly.
He said, that's something I'll take with me my whole life. Right. Catherine is here. And I just, the kid was deep. But he also said something. I'd love to find those cops and just sit them down. I'd like to hurt them first.
It's just fear. It's just fear. People. I mean, it's so there's so much fear going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
they say he had a gun. We're still not sure if that's true. But even if he did, a .25 caliber gun
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They don't
and they
judge
still
that.
don't have to kill him.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's a society. There's a lot of tension in our society. There's a lot of fear in our society. That's what that whole
crazy.
Oklahoma thing is about.
Yeah.
It's about that. It's just that on another level. I mean, I listen to BAI a lot, and simply what they talk about on BAI as the possibilities. I mean, these people actually fear the government, that the government is doing things against them. I mean, that's heavy. I mean, whether it is or is not, I mean, they may have been supremacists or not, but that's what they felt inside of it. They had to do against the government that was actually attacking them.
Did you hear the guy? Did you hear the guy? Well, it's just so ironic because in the family I grew up in, there were people in my family, in my step family, who were being set up by the government, but they were on the completely other side of these people who now feel they're being set up.
I hear that.
It's like, and hear the guy, I can't remember his name. I don't want to remember. The white supremacist guy his name, it's like Mike something. He's got a mustache and a broad face and brown hair. Who supposedly this kid that they call